Well, thank you for watching my video at the TargetedWest.com video. Here's my card. This is the Sunday show, the Targeted West Conference. It is the 10th of July, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time plus 7 GMT. And it is here in Lodi, 96 degrees, 7 degrees. And the Yosemite down the street is on fire. No smoke in this area yet. It's blowing towards the Sierras, but it's horrible. That's a lot of the tourist areas there. People come here every year, so that's not good news. Between the shooting last week and this, it's just been downhill. Of course, there's more shootings going on. But anyway, here we go for the show. The monologue will last a few minutes. Then I'll switch to open mic. I have my topics. This is the 15th show. That's 1, 2, 3. My name is DJ Chris, and I'll be your host and moderator and video podcast dude. We'll be talking about various subjects, some easy subjects tonight since I had to work on the holiday last week. I made it easy on myself. It's going to be like show and tell and easy stuff. So, basically, I put my chat room on here. There we go. So basically, we'll be going over some subjects, light subjects tonight, and then we'll take questions, and these are all topics. I did light research on them, and I posted them to my TI Club 3 Twitter page, where you can go see my stuff. It's kind of hard to get in there without an account, but you can figure it out. There's workarounds on the internet. There's like 4 different workarounds. Mine is by when you don't have an account, you wait to ask you to log in, and then you sign up for an account and click that little X in the left corner. It's my trick. But then that didn't work one time. So, well, no big deal. I can talk about them, and you'll get that information too. I'll just be more specific with the links and stuff. So the first thing I'm going to talk about tonight is how to get press credentials. If you do a podcast, have a website, and do content with a blog, artist, author, what have you. I'm writing these little books, these 30-minute quick books. If you did that, that would qualify you as an author. And I think it's U.S. Press Association. It seems legit. I have researched the 3 of them, it seems there are. One's the actual press that like Anderson Cooper has. That's like $600 a year. Another one's like $300, and this one was like $73. So it's affordable for everyone. If you do blogs, podcasts, and such, an author or one of the 3, you would qualify. And you're asking, well, why DJ Chris when I want to do that? Well, first you get a press card that you can use to get into events or gain information. Or if you don't go in person for anything, their website and connections on the website will get our targeting information spread, because you can give them articles and upload them and have your peers read them and get the word out about targeting to this channel. So by becoming a press person, you will have access to their website and be able to do 1 press release a year. So, I mean, that's one step forward. Hello. So I'm considering doing that. I will let you know if I do. I put the website for this information on the Twitter page, TI Club 3. The next one was, someone thought I was joking, but I was serious, and that's morsedecoder.com, using Morse code to communicate to each other. Because, believe it or not, encrypted communication is not that encrypted. You can argue with me all day if you want, but it's not encrypted completely. There are other ways to get around it. So, just saying, if you want to send a private message, use the Morse code encoder and send your little messages back and forth. And that's on my TI3 Twitter page for you to view. That stays on for 60 days unless it gets no action and I erase it. And that is morsedecoder.com if you don't want to go to Twitter. If you're watching me on BitChute, YouTube, or archive.org. So again, that's Morse code from the 1830s, and then Mr. Morse had his assistant rewrite some of it and clean it up in 1840, and it's the de facto standard and was used in the military and such. And I think telegrams. And it used to be a requirement to get a ham radio license, know at least 20 Morse code words per minute. And they stopped doing that. So you can get a ham license without that because no one really uses it anymore. And someone thought I was joking, but most people thought it was a pretty darn good idea. So try that out if you want to talk and, want a little silly anecdotal, but maybe effective workaround for privacy. We do deserve privacy, don't we? The next one is police scanners with a close call feature. And I have told you a show and tell. I have a Uniden Trunk Tracker 4. I bought this 10 years ago. And you hit this button right here to turn it on. I cannot turn it on and play it for you. I can make a sound. Like that. As a radio station, that's okay, but I cannot tell you what's on it. But anyway, this is an interesting feature. It has a close call effect, and you can program it in here and just sit it down somewhere, and anyone that keys up a microphone within the frequency range of the scanner will be able to you'll be able to pick it up, and it'll lock it in for you, so you'll be able to record it. This is good for regular communication. It wouldn't work with cell phones or military or secret communication, but with your standard police, fire, ambulance, and tow companies and everything else at the cities and everything else, the sheriff, they're all in here, and you can monitor how much more activity there is. Since I've been listening, and the activity on this police scanner has gone up exponentially. There's much more action lately. A lot of 5150s going on, people calling for mental health now, drug overdoses, a lot of police chases, shootings. I mean, this thing is going nonstop now. I don't even want to listen to it. It used to go quiet for a long time. So you can buy one used. I think this is a Uniden. You can buy one online at Uniden or Amazon or eBay or what have you. And it takes AA batteries in the back. Or battery use is not great, but you can plug it into the power. This will plug at the top. You can clip this under your belt, hide it behind your jacket, and put the ear set in and stand and watch the law enforcement or whatever do their thing, and they won't know you have it. That's what I used to do in the 70s when the first police scanner like this came out, just to listen in, and we were part of the police watch, so, kind of like they do now, police auditing, where we would monitor them and make sure they're doing a good job. So that's your police scanner. It's a Uniden Trunk Tracker 4. We'll probably get one used. There's a new one out now. The one that's made in Japan can intercept cell phones, but it's illegal and you can't listen to cell phone calls. Plus you can't tell people what you hear on this. And if you use this for a crime, you go away a long time. So that's a police scanner. That's what they do. They can't listen into you. They cannot track you on it. It has no features. It's non-trackable unless it signals intelligence, and they would probably know you have it. And that's about it. But then they're so compartmentalized and isolated that it would take a long time for that to disseminate into the system. Next one is CasaCam. 1 year ago, as I speak, it was 104 degrees, and I had a few vodkas, which was a bad mistake to do on a hot day. And I went outside and I was singing because everybody liked me to sing. And I said the F word a couple times, and the sheriff came. And the neighbors called the methamphetamine lady, who later got evicted. But anyway, it caused me to get PTSD, shook me up, and we went and bought cameras, and it's called a Casa Cam. It's a 2-camera system. It's Wi-Fi, but no one's ever broken into it yet remotely because the Wi-Fi antenna is less than 4 inches from the base. So it's literally that close. There's no way to wire it directly. Those are more expensive or less expensive and more complicated. This is plug and play for the average person, which includes me. So it comes with a little display screen. It uses SD cards. Our SD cards last 5 days. You get one of those SD card packets, little plastic container, and you line them up, and you have them all set, and you can label them if you want, and you just change them out. And it's 780p HD. It's not 1080, but it's good. This is a trick. It's $199. We've run them in the cold and the heat for 1 year and had 0 failures. The Uniden failed. The other brands failed. Casa Cam worked. And that's the VS, that's Victor Sam 802, VS 802. And I put the website for Amazon to buy it if you want it, if you want the same thing. Yeah, they have police scanner channels named, but they don't have all the good police scanners. They only have a few of them. They don't have them all. The scanner does the close call feature, which the Google cannot do, which gives you a layer of security. So again, that's a Casa Cam system VS802, and we've used it for a year, and it has not failed us yet. I am so clumsy because I have this neuropathy in my hand still, and it's making me sick still. I bought this little container with a little tiki design with the fish and stuff, and I put my pens and my vape. I have dropped the pens and the vape so many times that I bought that just to hold them. That's how long this long COVID I have has been going. It's the longest I've ever been sick. It's getting scary now. Who am I going to go to the doctors and then they'll want me to, I'm not taking any more shots until this is rectified. Seriously. I don't go anywhere. I've been in this RV nonstop for 3 years. I've literally, hello, Setsa. I have literally been in this RV for 3 years, and I've had 4 visitors in 3 years, or 5, and that's it. One is MacG, Stella, or across the street, the nurse lady. Oh, geez. 3? 4? I don't go to the store. I don't touch anything that's bought. We wipe everything down. We're very sterile. We always have been because we've had an immune system for 30 years. So we already have the playbook. We know what to do to protect ourselves. And I still have the long COVID or whatever. Doesn't mean I'm not getting more shots. I just have to wait till I'm feeling better because I don't want to infect anyone. And my COVID test says negative. The next one is a bizarre thing I'm going to tell you about. Now, have an open mind. Have an open mind. Hey, Nancy. Hello, everybody. Have an open mind. Humming for 100 seconds at 10-second intervals at the lowest humming tone you can do is the most healthy way to stimulate the vagus nerve up in your throat, which is where your tonsil is. Your vagus nerve, like Vegas, goes down through and back through your torso. And that's your email system for your body. You hum at the lowest point, even to music. Just do that for 100 seconds, 10-second intervals, and you will feel better. It's like taking a Xanax. You can incorporate the Sanskrit om, and do meditation at the same time, or you can use one, between going one or om and humming, relaxing, grounding, earthing, eating well, which I haven't done lately, so I'm a hypocrite, and relaxing and getting that cell phone and that computer out of here, the TV and everybody, and go get out of Dodge, out on the lawn somewhere, and chill out. It works. It's helped me a lot. Singing helps with the vagus nerve too. So singing is healthy. You can sing if you want. So again, that's humming to stimulate the vagus nerve. And I counted out 100 seconds, 10-second intervals, because you got to do it with your breath. And at the same time, you relax your breath at the same time. So prepare this for the open mic. Open mic is going to happen right so. Get that prepared. I hope everybody's well. It's Sunday. Chill out day. Okay. Oh, that sounds great. The next bit is we're going to play show and tell again. By popular demand, I had a bunch of people ask me to read from my first book. And here's my first book, The Cold War Next Door. You can buy that on Amazon. It's only 99 cents. It's a shorty. I think it's 21 pages. A lot of TI books are 21 pages. And here we go. The Cold War, and getting ready to read the book, and you're ready to chill out. And here we go. The Cold War Next Door by TargetedWest EPUB. Copyright 2019, TargetedWest EPUB. Dedicated to the targeted individuals who suffer daily. That's you and me. Today we're going to read Phase 1, as I call it, instead of Chapter 1. Phase 1, the CB Radio Bugaboo. And that's the only chapter we're going to read today before we go to open mic. It was a rainy night in the city of Perps, and felt like a good idea to ride my bicycle to the local Radio Shack to see if they had anything of interest to me as a kid. I was always very curious, and Radio Shack filled that void for an only child of a Freemason who was too busy to hang out with me. I finally got to the Shack shop and saw a tube-style radio in the as-is bin was discounted heavily. Brought it home on my bike and plugged it in, and with the antenna they sold me that day, came to life with strange voices of people outside my helicopter mom's world of Mormon folks dropping by to shame us for not following the word of the Lord, and my mom who watched TV all day and has no time for a curious kid with a million questions. She had never finished school and always had a limited vocabulary, except when it was time to put people down, except me, until I got older. She was a very big woman, over 6 feet tall, like my dad, father, a local mailman who wanted to get rich at any cost, even if it meant neglecting his family. Yeah, not lovely sets of Mormons. That's why I'm all effed up. It was my first version. I didn't fix that. It was a mostly Catholic, Spanish, and Italian and Portuguese neighborhood. My mother prevented me from hanging around. I don't want that. Hey, stop that. From hanging around them unless they were Mormon, so she forbid me to hang out with anyone she felt inferior to her false beliefs that made her isolated by her own devices. Sound familiar, Setsa? The CB radio was my ticket to freedom, and I was going to use it to my best ability. I finally keyed up that old metal mic, and I spoke my first words on Channel 23. The only ones that picked up was Channel 23 because it was a crystal set, and it didn't have more than 1 or 2 channels. Next thing I know, paraphrasing, bang, bang, bang on my window, I heard a voice saying, "You're breaking into my TV set," a loud screaming at my bedroom window at 8 p.m. at night. My mother answered the front door, and it was a neighbor lady next door, since her husband demanded her to summon us about his grand TV watching, his only passion. So Grumpy next door wouldn't talk to anyone, so he sends his wife, a nice but strict woman from Lisbon, who doesn't take crap from anyone. She said to me, "It's bothering my husband's TV and knock it off." My mother didn't care for her and shooed her away. It was my birthday, and I talked my dad into getting me a fancy new 23 channel. I spelled channel wrong, CB radio, by telling him the interference of the TV set would stop. That was a fib. The new radio and antenna got my signal out of the area where I was able to meet many, many new friends, but made the neighbors more upset. We hired a professional radio guy. He added filters to their TV and my CB radio. It did not work. My father knew the radio was my only social network since my mother was always sick and did not drive. So I carried on my radio talk and never worried, since we never heard anything next door. The next day, I come home to talk, and that day I see a green 73 Plymouth Fury wagon, which was brand new back then, by the way. A green Fury wagon drive by a strippy one, like a government green with cheap hubcaps. You could hear the dual exhaust of the 440 engine back and forth with this big antenna, the long stick thing, up and down the antennas. So where is he? Where is he? And they found me. They knew I was my house, but they had to verify. They're holding a stick and aiming it at my antenna. The two men in suits drive by again and then park. My mother answers the door, and it's the FCC agents who drove 47 miles from their home office in San Francisco to respond on several complaints from neighbors near my home. That's when the Zersitzung and the targeting started, 1974. They measured my radio, and it was 0.4 too high on wattage and fined me. They also find me for interfering with the television, too. Mind you, I'm a scared 15-year-old kid doing a very popular event in the 70s, the advent of CB radio popularity, and I was not a bad kid. The convoy song about CB radio was playing on the radio all day long. Okay? But they're breaking into my TV. Hey! So Grumpy next door was speed dialing the FCC often and was yelling at the employees at the agency, so they told me they had no choice. I moved my antenna to the garage and had my radio adjusted to the under 5-watt limit. The perps next door quit talking to my family and me. They had the next door guy involved too, so it was COINTEL for a kid for talking on a radio. A few months later, after getting the fine paperwork for the event and paying it, the FCC decides to do another sweep of the entire area of CB radio operators, and they came back to my house again since the whole citizen radio thing blew up and everybody had one, thanks to movies like Cannonball Run and more. Same routine. They measured my radio and it was fine, but they still said the neighbors have been calling and yelling again, so they had to fine me again for bothering TVs. Two perp men from next door would bang and swear at me through my window in my bedroom while I was a kid. They had no shame because the TV set was brainwashing them into an altered brainwave state, and they were too poorly educated to understand. Grumpy was a manager at the Fruit Depot and couldn't talk well, but he just yelled. Before Silicon Valley took over, the entire Bay Area was orchards growing food, and that was his gig. His wife canned food at the factory nearby. I turned 16 and was able to drive and set up my dad's huge Chrysler up with a CB radio and antenna system, so I escaped the perps in my hood, joined the CB radio club, which is the only club I've ever joined, and we did a game called Fox Hunting where we triangulated each other's frequencies like the FCC did with me, but instead we used a loop antenna that was directional. So you can play that game, and we can triangulate signals now because I know how to do it. So if you think you can keep this game up in our heads, you got it wrong. And by the way, I'm an old man in a camper trying to figure out why I have voices. I'm not in the middle. I am in the middle. I'm not political. I'm not left, right, or anything. I'm just trying to find out why the telepathy is happening. So as a kid, I never understood how people could be so glued to that crap TV. But it was the only entertainment people had who were limited in mind. I'd ride my bike around the hood at night and see the lights of the TVs in people's windows. It was a show of class for the middle class back then. You remember that? Everybody had to have a TV, and it was shining through the window. That was like class. One of the folks I met on CB radio told me that it is possible to mind control people since he was an engineer for the Telstar satellite system recently launched. He told me they can brainwash people too, so I understood why people were getting violent on my street. Okay, that's your live read, your first section. And we're now going to go to open mic. You can have this. Okay, open mic. Anybody want to talk? Questions, open topics? You're welcome, Liz.
That's a great story.
That's only 1/10 of it. The CB radio gave me freedom. A lonely, isolated child, a Mormon, with more canned goods than a grocery store.
Wow.
And then we had the ultimate Mormon disaster. We had saccharin in our canned goods and had to throw them out. Remember, saccharin was in the 70s. It was cancerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you, another open topic subject, I don't know if you guys meditate, but I'm learning how, and I put a little thing on Twitter with a lady that explains it, and I'm learning the meditating thing to get my brain cleared up. One of the tricks is, like I said, do the Om or one, and just keep doing it and clear your mind, and think about other stuff other than what's pressing you. And I'm not quite sure how it quite works, but I know it works because I've been doing it lately, and it's changed me between the grounding, the humming, the singing, the eating well, and my meditation I'm learning. I'm feeling pretty good, considering the fact that I've been listening to the last hour before I started, voices telling me I'm a POS and I'm going to prison all day and night. Next subject, if you want to talk about this, Wikipedia, always double check. I'm now an editor for Wikipedia, so if that doesn't scare you, nothing else will. So be sure to double check all your Wikipedia stuff you use. I refer to it often because I have a homepage there, link, but please double check it. That's what we do at WikiLeaks, Wikipedia. We check them, report them if you see something, and I'm going to start fighting back against this crap on these targeted pages on Wikipedia and fight back against the bias towards mental health being the issue. That's BS. We're not going to let that happen. Anybody want to talk? Open mic? We have a Theology Online Radio by Sue Maya. Listen to inspiring talks to reconnect you to the universal oneness of God, His beauty, grace, and wisdom, illustrating stories, wellness, music, and poetry. So if you're in the chat room, you can click on that and check Sue Maya out. I don't have her link offhand. Biomems. I did. Oh, go ahead.
Hello, it is Andrew from St. Louis, Missouri. Hope everybody's doing well. Your fellow V2K warrior coming at ya. Hope all is well. What an interesting story, Chris. I always learn a lot when I come in and listen. Now, is that what we were talking about, the carcinogen saccharin? Is that what, was that NutraSweet or Sweet and Low? I can't remember. Just right now.
Those were for that, yeah. And NutraSweet is also poisonous, too. And that was a Don Rumsfeld thing. And he was behind the 9/11 crap and all this Patriot
Wow.
Act. Yeah, Don Rumsfeld was behind NutraSweet, and it's not good for you. Don't use it. And so the saccharin was before that, and it's bad. It's outlawed, but yeah.
Oh, man. We had so much of that in our house, too. NutraSweet and enough Diet Right, I think, to go around the world a couple times. But I digress. Where can I get that? I'm interested in that police scanner that you have. As far, I know I can get it off eBay, I guess, or somewhere. Is it really spendy?
I paid $400, which is ridiculous, and they're now about $160. But you can listen to the police calls for free on Google Play. There's apps, and they're for Mac too on Apple, and you wouldn't even have to pay for it. You can go to radioreference.com. That's Radio Reference, I think it is, and there's all sorts of live police channels. You can go on the web and get them, but they don't do all the features that this little scanner does. You can catch the police and the local perps coming up on your house and talking. You can catch them with these get the Unidim with a close call, and that'll get them every time.
Now, is that on all the units? Because Unidim, they make great stuff. Is that on, or is that on just one particular model?
Many of the scanners have close call that made by Unidim. I had a cheap one with close call, so make sure it has close call. And then you can put close call into the scanning and listen to scanning, and then if there's a close call coming in, it sets priority, and that comes in first using technology. And then it'll record the frequency, and then you can put in your scanner and monitor it.
Yeah. What if there's a way that we could use a police scanner or radio or something to pick up our V2K and give it right back to them?
It's not the same. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not even the same frequencies. Even an SDR or digital, radio that you plug into your USB is not going to do it. It takes specialized equipment and a lot of engineering.
But, I've always wanted to learn more about radios and stuff like that. But I'll keep a look at it. $160, I mean, that's not too much to ask if you can kind of monitor more. It's called counterintelligence.
That's exactly what you're doing. I taught you guys that 2 weeks ago. Do your counter intel. You need to do counter intel.
Oh, we sure do. I was talking to somebody about that earlier. So you just do what you can do. I've always wondered, whenever I use Siri, but whenever I talk into it, they'll shut the hell up while I'm using it. And it's like, I can't hold this button down forever, so I wonder what's really going on there. Because you're more knowledgeable about computer stuff than I am. I'm trying to do better. Trying to get my computer literacy skills more up to speed.
Mine needed to be up to speed too, because I've been in tech so long that a lot of my old skills are outdated.
Well, we could have a computer class out here or something.
And I would actually probably, God, you wouldn't believe some of. I'm learning basic stuff I never knew or forgot, like cut and paste and just doing things with the keyboard. Because my mouse died and I didn't remember shortcuts or any. I was like, whoa, I need to probably take a class again, because I'm going to be 62 this year, and I'm not remembering everything as well.
Well, I mean, the stuff changes so often. I mean, I remember in 1987. Now, if I would have had somebody to advocate for me, I would have become a computer programmer, because I was already starting to write programs, and I was only in that class for 4.5 weeks, but they wouldn't let me have any more classes, so that was part of my targeting, I guess. But I have come back even stronger, and that's why I say I'm the V2K warrior, glad to reach out and inspire anybody else. So I can't thank you all enough for having conference calls for us during the tumult. So are we, is anybody doing an after call tonight?
I think Liz is probably going to chill out, and I'm offering an extra hour, so you'll be with me until 9 o'clock, which is 2.5 hours more.
Okay.
I slept till 6:30 this morning, which is late for me, so I'm good to go.
Because I'm still interested in doing a call. What's holding my show up is just the tech support side of it, where I can do it accessibly and put it in, the mode so the perps can't infiltrate it too bad. So I'm spreading the word too. So you might have some new followers. So.
I greatly appreciate that, Ann. Thank you. You've been a long-term supporter of our call, and this is our 15th week.
Mm-hmm. I thought you started your call about 4 months back.
Yeah, it's been 4 months.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be here 4 months longer and 4 months after that.
Yes, I plan on finishing up another 12 shows here, and then I'll go from there, and then probably go another 12. I go 12 at a time, like a dozen donuts.
Wonderful, wonderful. So when anybody hears me talking on here, I'm here as a support person. I really enjoy helping. We will get through this.
Very good. Thank you, Ann. I didn't really understand what biomems is, but I guess it's medical devices that you wear that can be tracked. And I put a wiki post on my Twitter page that talks about it in detail. And you can check it out. I picked that up last week and someone mentioned it. I didn't really research it much, so I can't speak on it, as I am learning about that too. And then I mentioned the Wikipedia editor, where anybody can be a Wikipedia editor. You just sign up and they give you a mentor, and he gives you easy stuff. You start out with correcting bad spelling, and then they'll let you edit when you get, when you've proven yourself. I'm just trying to learn how to do links and everything in it on my own personal page there right now. I got that figured out. It's kind of weird, the programming. They're really different than anything else. No, it's not HTML. I don't know what it is, but it works. Wikipedia, Black Ops. I put the whole Black Operations thing, usually in the Black Bag Operations, and the Wikipedia information on that, which goes into Black Bag Operations and Black Operations, Black Ops, Black Funding, all the stuff that they do, sneaking around on us, which is all usually Black Ops, and I thought I'd post that because it's exactly what we're going through, and I think me and I need to learn about it more, so that's on my agenda to learn more about and share. The weird thing is there's a video game called Black Ops, and they have the internet completely flush with that game, and there's only a tiny reference to the real deal. So, and they get those kids that play those games, and they're preparing them for war, because a lot of people are going to war. These kids now were playing the first shooter games before and even know how the weapons work. Isn't that ingenious to brainwash your kids for war? The perpetual, non-stop wars that we keep needing to satisfy a small group of power people in this world that know that's how they make money and gain power. And they get all the kids the old men get the little kids to play it, but do the war. There's a hot video that you must watch on my Twitter page. It's about predictive policing that I talked about, Predpol, in my previous videos on BitChute and elsewhere. There's an actual example of predictive policing from the Institute of Justice, which is a great organization. They help people to protect themselves against illegal seizures and civil forfeiture, which I have not really gotten into detail about, but I think my home was going to be taken under civil forfeiture under the DEA Patriot subsection parallel program. Yeah, because they could do that. They considered anyone who was delving in drugs as using it, as even a small level, was a terrorist. And I'm really starting to think that it was the marijuana that they were after, because marijuana is classified as a class 1 drug. It's classified stronger than cocaine and methamphetamine and heroin. What the hell? And you know why? It's because it disrupts mind control. I put a plethora of posts, including Kathy O'Brien and her 5-minute video explaining how cannabis disrupts and screws up, like Kathy's husband says, screws up the mind control. It screws it up. And Dick Cheney did not want any of his presidential models. They forbid that drug. Any other drug that they made and gave out, that's okay. But that marijuana, it opens your mind, creates new neurons, and the mind control program doesn't like that.
Hey, it's Becky. Just wanted to say hi.
Hey, Becky, hello. Come on in and make yourself comfortable. I'll be here till 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I kind of went off my subject, but anyway, the main subject is the predictive policing. You can have a kid that's like 18 that sold a bag of pot on your porch, and they bust him, and they'll come to your house several times a day harassing the kid and the whole household. I watched, there's examples of this video on my Twitter page. You'll get so angry that they're doing this. It's called predictive policing, and it's in Florida. It's being done, and it's a big deal. So I would suggest watching that. I have a new term you might want to topic about if you're into Dr. Duncan. I have Dr. Robert Duncan saying, and that's a mind virus, and that's what this is. It's a mind virus, like a computer virus in your computer or a virus in your cell phone. This is a mind virus in your brain. And thank you, Dr. Duncan, for that interjection. Thank you for your input. We'll go ahead and take a break. Becky, your mic's on. Go ahead and mute yourself. I'll take care of that for you. Oh, no, you can. You got it. Go ahead and mute yourself, Becky.
I'm here.
Okay,
I'm here
very
because
good.
sometimes I can't get back in.
Okay, but don't go away. Don't go nowhere. The next one is a controversial subject. It's probably not great to talk about, but it's the pedo effect. I go in chat rooms and I watch and I see this, and my telepathy and people in public are going on and on and on about the word pedo, and it gets people so shook up. It is getting disgusting. I am sick of hearing that damn word. Leave the children alone. Don't talk about them. Leave it alone. Drop it, drop it, drop it. It's called the pedo effect, and it causes people to get kicked out of neighborhoods. I know a real pedo that's on that Megan's list for the state of California. I know where he lives, but I don't tell people because I could get in trouble for that. They have more protections than people that aren't pedos. They just get called that. It's ridiculous. It's a disgusting word. I don't like using it. Medusa update. I discussed that my refrigerator was talking to me, and Alex told me it was Medusa. And then through my research through the bassoon project, bassoon is a low wind instrument for music, and it is the name of the program I think the Jason group had. 3 hertz to 300. 3 hertz to 10 are the frequencies of your body. So that is probably what they're using in some cases. There are 16 different methods of talking in your head, apparently, from what I've read and haven't confirmed. You can email me at djchris@targetedwest.com if you've got anything you'd like to add on that or anything else you'd like to input. And that video about the predictive policing, it's always the sheriffs involved in that. Currently, the sheriffs are the ones that seem to be doing most of this action. It's usually not the city police, it's more the sheriff. And I will go into the history of the sheriff, because the sheriff, it's actually two words, sheriff. They're like the first police force in America. So there's two different words, basically property protectors, and I'll do the whole history breakdown on that with those two words together, what it means in the history and all that. But they have more powerful people than I know the sheriff doesn't want. The sheriff will put an anti-LEO on you. They showed that on this video, anti-LEO for this poor lady. She never had anti-LEO sentiments. I don't. I just don't like bad policing. I like policing. I support the police. I support our government. I support the federal government, local, state, federal. I just don't like these covert, stupid programs and these secret lists and this talking in everybody's heads. Anyway, want to talk? We're still recording, by the way. We're wrapping up the recording in 15 minutes. If you'd like to be forever in posterity on archive.org, where they cannot erase you, hopefully, you can say your piece.
So this is Becky. Since you're recording, I'm going to go ahead and say this then. So I really feel that it's a manipulation, and they're doing some kind of thing that's totally making my eyes fluctuate, and like twitch, and it's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what they're.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one, Becky, that gets that twitchy in the eye, and there's a specific part of the brain I found that does that.
Mhm.
If you go to my Twitter page, if you go to Twitter, I have that Brain 101, and it tells you which one does. I can't remember offhand, but they're triggering it, and they do it to someone in the chat room too.
Wow.
Or make you blink a lot. Yeah, and that's, I don't know what that signifies. I guess to make you blind or to make you irritated and give up. Don't give up.
Oh, I'm not giving up. I'm in this for the long haul. So.
Me too.
I've been being a lot more positive and doing well despite it all. I'm not letting them get me down. So no matter what they do, even if they make my eyes twitch, oh well. So that's all. Thank you. I'll mute now.
Then my chin twitch for a whole day. It drove me nuts. Okay, last subject before we come off a recording. We'll wrap it up in 12 minutes. And that is alcohol and targeting. I posted that on Twitter. I have struggled using alcohol and gotten out of control, and others have. And we have our fellow brothers and sisters that drink, and we do it to try to lessen the effects of the targeting, which I did, and it did quell the sexual lust part that I had, but that was the only positive component. It made me a mess and others, and I think if you can have one drink or two, which I can't have, and I don't have any alcohol at all in my case, and I did some research, and you don't have to go to AA. There are 3 to 5 different medications an alcoholic can take now to reduce your craving for alcohol. So if you don't feel comfortable spilling your dish out at the AA meeting online or in person, you can find other advocates to talk to and doctor treatments and therapy and counseling to get you through the drug pill to reduce the alcohol and with the alcohol cravings and use. So, and you would supplement it with meetings with AA if you need to. Okay? And I am not anti-AA. You just got to be careful what you say to them, because there's some creepy people in some of those AA meetings, because I used to go to them. And I know it's that way everywhere. You got to be careful what you tell people. Just tell them, oh, I'm just here to learn. Not sure if I have a problem. Well, you really don't, but when you're being targeted, any type of alcohol or drug use. And of course, I smoke the cannabis, so I'm kind of a hypocrite in some people's eyes, but I don't believe this is a drug, and I've argued with AA people about the marijuana. It's a harm reduction mechanism, is what it is, because I had a hard drug use in the 80s and a relapse, so it's a harm reduction thing. That's all I have to say about that. Put that away. You're listening to TargetedWest.com. Our website has been redone. I have a category section in the blog section and a direct link. So you can click on my site and go right here. Boom. One click to come to this call. It's one click, not 3 or 2, but 1. My website is simple, and it's color keyed using Pantone colors, E1505C, which is a rustic orangey red. Red is the color of passion. Red is the color of lust. Unfortunately, it also could be used in a bad way, but it's used in marketing and advertising, and so I chose it. And I chose that little star that's from a Pet Shop Boys video and not satanic. I compared them, and they're not the same. So that's kind of what I do. I trip out on different subjects and then expand on it. And I did a post on color psychology. Do you know colors have psychological meanings, which is why they use the targeting and coloring to anchor in your head, the color anchoring. Red is the #1 color. I don't use bright red because it hurts my eyes. I use a rustic orangey red. Anybody care? Oh, hey, Mr. B. Hear him talk? Hey, Mr. B, hello. Anybody want to talk? Open mic.
What does red mean?
Oh. Red is for excitement, assertiveness, power, confidence.
Okay. Yeah, I always thought it meant bold. That was the only thing.
Yeah, bold, yes. Yeah.
Yep. People who
and
are outgoing.
I had somebody targeted. Do you know people wear red shoes now because of Taylor Swift and Gwen Stefani? So apparently that's a statement, and I had someone who's being perped by people wearing red shoes. So it's moved from the cars to the shoes too. That's anchoring the color anchoring, because colors have a psychological effect. And I put that on the hooch. What was that? Oh yeah, Twitter.
Okay, and do you know what yellow means?
No, but that colorpsychology.com website had yellow, orange. Yeah, it had every color. I don't use yellow in my web design. I use green and red because every day's Christmas for you guys because I'm giving it away.
Okay,
I like that bird. I like the bird yellow. Oh, I love yellow.
Yeah, I do too. What was the site that you mentioned? It has
colorpsychology.com.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, it is so interesting. You'll love it. Yeah, colorpsychology.com, and it explains why colors are used. The RKM people used to use the red coat and the red sign in the front of their money lending and businesses. Rothschild means red coat. But I'm not a Rothschild or a Freemason or taken an oath. I have never taken an oath to anything, and I've joined one club, and that's the Gateway CB Radio Club in 1974 or 5. $25. Was it 25 or 10? Well, it was $10 a year to join, and we used to meet at the pizza parlor. Boy, that was fun. Fiorello's on El Camino in Santa Clara. Mr. Fiorello. He's a cool cat. I'm sure he's still open. He's over by the police department now. He built his own restaurant. Very nice guy. But yeah, it's the only oath. I didn't even take an oath for the CB radio. I've never taken an oath. My father took an oath to be a Freemason. And what I learned is that my dad is an idiot for joining, and I think he joined it to get leads to get rich or make money, which I think got him the property he owned. Considering he was a mailman, but he was a Freemason mailman, which he probably got the mailman job as a Freemason, probably winky connection. Plus he was a math whiz where I'm not a math whiz, and that's how he passed, because it's a lot of math. And my dad had the telepathy too. I asked him in the car when he was older and I was taking care of him. He goes, yeah, I got the voices too. I didn't ask him what they said or anything. I was shocked. So my dad's a Freemason. They don't talk much. The words are few. And so you don't push it. Just ask the question, you get your quick answer, and you move on. Because they told him if he talked and gave any of the secrets away, they would cut his guts open, take all his guts, and fling them over his left shoulder to torture him. And that's why they attack your guts and make you sick in your stomach, is because that is a iconic move for them to do, because it represents what they do if you betray them. Isn't that lovely? Freemasonry. Hey, Mr. B. Mr. B, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. B. He's getting neutered soon. We had 3 cats neutered. Hey, buddy, I don't want to pick you up. You get all crazy. Want to come up here and so I can interview you? Guess not. Huh. Come on up. Oh, he's too busy. Yeah, my dad was a real winner. I wrote a book about him a little bit. My dream book, which is coming out August 1st, you can pre-order it on Amazon, Amazon.com. You type in My Synthetic Dream or The Cold War Next Door. Those are my 2 books, and they're both on Amazon or Lulu. And help support an old man. I don't get a lot of money from the 99 cents, but Amazon takes a lot. It's unbelievable. So, thank everybody who bought my book. They're shorties, 30-minute quickies. Anyone can do it. I'll teach you how to write your own book. I'll teach you how to write your testimony. I'll teach you how to publish it. And like I said, the words in the book mean 1,000 times more for some reason than what you'd say with the words on a call, email, telephone call, or what have you. The book has some weird mystical power because it's ingrained in people as a fountain of knowledge. So your story will be amplified substantially by the fact that you have it in book form, and it'll give you a self-empowering feeling that will enable you to spread the word through these books, and through your prose be able to stop this targeting, because like I say, like in Sri Lanka, they took the whole country over. I mean, there's 330 people in the United States, and there's not that many of them. So who do you think's going to win? So don't you worry. You get the word out. You do it legally, safely, and you get in a little good trouble, and you get the word out about targeting. And you do it in a way where people will understand, because they're almost there with the Havana syndrome thing. You just need to use that calling card to take it to the next level with the Frey effect, telepathy, V2K, synthetic telepathy, whatever you want to call it, RNM system that's torturing us right now. Fourth Industrial Revolution technology that no one knows about because it's so secretive and unbelievable. You get it, you talk about it, you're labeled mentally ill. That's what they used to do in the Soviet Union. That's the easiest. It's just a chicken way of tormenting people. Because our mental health system's broken, there's really not much anyone can do when you get locked up, except shoot you up with drugs, which I hope you deny and say no to, because they're not going to do anything for you if you're not mentally ill. It's just a way to harass you and make you more malleable and compliable in the, not the word, in the mental health system. Anyway, this concludes our video. Thank you for participating. This will be up on BitChute tonight, and it'll be on World News, which is a RSS aggregate. It'll be on YouTube and archive.org tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Bless you. Have a good evening, and thank you for watching me on your preferred device or domain site. Thank you very much, and good night to you.